This isn't just any palace. Think of it as a 300-year-old trophy built to celebrate a stunning victory that literally changed the map of Europe. But behind that magnificent facade, you'll find the secrets of a powerful family, a famous prime minister born almost by accident, and the story of how an American heiress saved it all from ruin. Today, we're exploring the history of Blenheim Palace and sharing the tips you need to unlock the very best of it. Hello and welcome. Join me for a walk through this magnificent titan of a building. We're not just going to wander through the stunning rooms and incredible gardens. We're going to get into the stories that make this place feel alive. We'll uncover its rich and sometimes scandalous history, share some quirky facts you won't find in the average guidebook, and I'll give you the essential, practical tips for planning the perfect visit, including some brand new experiences available for the very first time. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to make the most of a day at one of Britain's greatest treasures. Before we step inside, let's talk logistics, because getting your arrival right at Blenheim is the key to a stress-free day. The palace is in the charming town of Woodstock, Oxfordshire. For visitors coming from Oxford, the journey is straightforward and scenic. Regular bus services like the S3 and S7 run frequently from Oxford city centre and the railway station, dropping you off right at the palace gates in around half an hour. It's a wonderfully convenient way to arrive. While the entry fee is rather pricey, with over 2,000 acres of palace parkland and gardens to explore, you should get your money's worth. My advice is to get there early, ideally right when it opens. Not only do you beat the queues, but you also get to experience the Great Court and the first few staterooms before the crowds really build up, which makes a world of difference. For anyone with mobility concerns, the palace has made significant efforts. The main palace and garden areas are largely accessible, and there are buggy tours to help you navigate the huge grounds. With the practical stuff sorted, get ready. You're not just visiting a house, you're about to step into a statement. Your journey really begins as you walk from the main gates and through the East Courtyard Arch. Honestly, nothing prepares you for the view that opens up. The Great Court of Blenheim Palace is a masterpiece of English Baroque architecture, a style defined by its drama, its scale, and its unapologetic confidence. This whole place is a reward. It was commissioned by Queen Anne as a gift from a grateful nation to one man, John Churchill, the first Duke of Marlborough. His leadership of Allied forces against the French and Bavarians led to a decisive and frankly shocking victory at the Battle of Blenheim in 1704. This was a major turning point in the War of the Spanish Succession, completely shifting the balance of power in Europe. So the nation decided to build him a house worthy of that achievement. The man tasked with this huge project was the playwright and architect Sir John Vanbrugh, with help from Nicholas Hawksmoor. Vanbrugh had a flair for the dramatic, and you can see it everywhere. For its architectural and historical importance, it was made a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987. It's also famously known as the only non-royal country house in England to hold the title of a palace. The sheer scale is overwhelming. The palace itself covers 7 acres. The construction was also full of drama. Costs spiralled, Parliament pulled its funding, and the Duke and his fiercely determined wife Sarah ended up paying for much of the completion themselves. Okay, let's head inside. Passing through the main doors, you enter the Great Hall. And great feels like an understatement. The main visitor route takes you through the gilded state rooms, a series of increasingly lavish chambers designed to impress and reflect the social etiquette of the 18th century. You start in the more public-facing rooms and move towards the more private, exclusive spaces. You'll pass through rooms adorned with enormous tapestries, each one a detailed, woven story of the Duke's most famous military campaigns. In the green writing room, for instance, the walls are dominated by the Battle of Blenheim itself, a constant reminder of where all this grandeur came from. From there, you enter what, for many, is the highlight of the interior, the long library. Stretching around 55 metres, this room was originally meant to be a picture gallery, but the fourth Duke turned it into a library that now holds over 10,000 books. The scale and quiet dignity of this room are breathtaking. It also houses a huge Willis organ, and if you're lucky enough to visit on a Sunday, you might catch one of the regular organ recitals. The most famous name associated with the palace, of course, is Sir Winston Churchill. Churchill was born here in 1874. The popular story, repeated for generations, is that his birth was quite unexpected. His mother, Lady Randolph Churchill, supposedly went into labour during a palace ball and was rushed to the nearest convenient room, a small ladies' cloakroom on the ground floor. It's a wonderful, humanising tale that one of Britain's most iconic leaders was born amidst the coats and bags of party guests. You can visit the tiny room today, and whether it happened exactly that way or not, it's a humble start to a monumental life. The palace now houses a fantastic permanent Churchill exhibition. It's an absolute must-see, taking you through the key moments of his life from his childhood roaming the estate to his leadership during the Second World War. Churchill loved Blenheim. He would later propose to his wife Clementine in the gardens here at the Temple of Diana. The palace was his anchor, a place he returned to throughout his life, and he's buried nearby in the local churchyard at Bladon. But the Churchill story is just one chapter. The palace has been the seat of the Dukes of Marlborough for over 300 years. One of the most fascinating stories is that of Consuela Vanderbilt. By the late 19th century, the Marlborough family was in serious financial trouble. The ninth Duke needed to marry money to save the estate. Across the Atlantic, the American Vanderbilt family had immense wealth, but craved aristocratic prestige. A deal was struck. In 1895, the ninth Duke married the beautiful 18-year-old Consuela Vanderbilt in what was essentially a business deal. Her dowry, an astronomical sum at the time, saved Blenheim. It was an unhappy marriage, but Consuela's fortune funded a massive restoration, replanted the woodlands, and returned the palace to its former glory. Blenheim has opened up a new life below stairs experience, taking you into the hidden world of the palace staff and their historic kitchens. While essential repair work is carried out on Blenheim Palace's roof, visitors have a rare opportunity to see the building from a different angle. The temporary Rooftop Experience allows access to areas normally closed to the public, offering a look at restoration work and sweeping views across the estate. It's a behind-the-scenes perspective on the scale of the restoration work and the craftsmanship that goes into maintaining this vast landmark. You'll need to get in quick though, as it's only open for a limited time, but it's well worth a visit if you enjoy views of the countryside or if you're really into scaffolding. As magnificent as the palace is, you could argue that its grounds are an even greater masterpiece. When Blenheim was first built, it had vast formal gardens in the fashionable French style. But in the 1760s, the fourth Duke of Marlborough hired the most famous landscape architect of the day, a man whose nickname tells you everything, Lancelot Capability Brown. Brown's philosophy was revolutionary. He believed a garden should be a romanticised version of nature. He famously declared that Blenheim had great capabilities for improvement and completely transformed the landscape. He tore out the formal gardens, planted thousands of trees in natural-looking clumps, and, most audaciously, dammed the River Glyme to create two enormous serpentine lakes that dominate the view today. The result is one of the finest examples of English landscape design in the world. The view from the back of the palace across the lawn and the Great Lake is an iconic vista painted by countless artists. As you wander the grounds, don't miss the Grand Bridge. Built by Vanbrugh, it's so huge it actually contains over 30 rooms inside. Across the lake you can see the Column of Victory, a 41-metre tall pillar topped with a statue of the first Duke. Modelled on the triumphal columns of ancient Rome, it's a constant focal point in the landscape, a reminder of the estate's origins. While Brown erased most of the original formal gardens, later Dukes brought them back in other areas. Today you can explore the stunning water terraces on the west side of the palace with their pools and fountains. There's also the fragrant rose garden, the peaceful secret garden, and the Churchill Memorial Garden. This blend of grand sweeping parkland and intricate formal gardens means there are endless paths to explore. Beyond the main palace and gardens, Blenheim has even more to offer, especially for families. To get to the walled garden, you can take a ride on the miniature train which chugs its way from the palace entrance for an extra fee. It's a huge hit with kids and saves tired legs. The walled garden is home to the pleasure gardens, which have a fantastic adventure playground, and the Marlborough Maze. This is one of the largest symbolic hedge mazes in the world, with almost 3¼ kilometres of yew hedges. Finding your way to the centre is a genuine challenge and a lot of fun. Blenheim's grandeur has also made it a film star. It's been a filming location for numerous films and TV shows, including the James Bond film Spectre, Queen Charlotte: A Bridgerton Story, and a flashback scene in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Blenheim Palace is so much more than a stately home. It's a declaration of power, a masterpiece of art, and a capsule of over 300 years of British history. It began as a monument to a warrior duke, was saved by an American heiress, became the birthplace of a wartime leader, and remains a living family home. From the powerful statement of the Great Court to the serene beauty of the Great Lake, every inch of this place tells a story. It's a place that is both overwhelmingly grand and intimately personal. It stands as a testament to victory, a showcase of artistic genius, and a treasured landscape that has captivated visitors for centuries. If you enjoyed this tour of Blenheim, please give this video a like and subscribe for more journeys into Britain's incredible heritage. And be sure to check out our video on another of the country's great houses right here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.